Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative podcast. It's the podcast where we have digital discussions, the worlds of social media, TV, film, video games, sports, pop culture, everything really. We talk about it all depending on the guest. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis, and on Twitter you know me as PD Beats. My guest is an actress and a voice actress. She is known for her work as Shauna in Pokemon and in the hit video game as Karen Jones in Red Dead Redemption 2. We are with Jo Armeniox. Jo, welcome to Popternative.
I want to be like,
yeah, I think there's an app for that. Like,
I know, I used to have one of those like button things that will do it for you.
Absolutely. Well, welcome to the show. Welcome to Popternative.
Thanks for having me. It's so cool.
No problem. Whether you're an actress, a voice actress, a writer, a musician, you are all storytellers. When did Jo Armeniox decide that she wanted to be a storyteller?
This story kind of makes me sound like a jerk, but I was like 3 years old, so I feel like it's fair. But my mom was doing community theater when I was a kid, and she would take me to rehearsals like when I was really, really little. And I remember just a total jerk. I like couldn't understand why I wasn't the lead. Like she would be like, "No, honey, you're actually not in the show. See those people dancing there? They're the leads." And I was like, no. This is supposed to be about me. So she's like, finally like, all right, fine, we'll talk to the director. We'll see if you can audition. And I was like, yeah, let's do this. So I went to the audition, this guy named Hall Parrish, who I ended up doing a bunch of like cool regional theater gigs with later on as I got older. One of the most lovely men I've ever met. And he had me sing Happy Birthday. And then he gave me a little job in this, like, I think it was like Damn Yankees or something like that, like some musical. And then that was it.
No, absolutely. So you've done a lot of really cool work in the past, but specifically you're part of two pretty big brands that I want to kind of talk about. And we'll get into Red Dead Redemption 2, but we gotta talk about Pokemon. You voiced Shauna in the English version of Pokemon. I mean, Pokemon, it's like one of the biggest brands in the planet, and you've been part of it. So talk about one, how you got involved with that, and two, what is it like being part of that huge global franchise?
It's so much fun. I also voice Plumeria now because I think Shauna's kind of done two totally different characters. But my friend Sarah Natacheni, who I used to work with years and years ago with College Humor, she and I just stayed friends, and she was like, she voices the voice of Ash, the main character. And so she hit me up and was like, hey, do you want to come in and like audition for one of these roles or something? And I was like, yeah, of course. I would love that. And then I got it, and God bless that woman. She's amazing. She's been doing it for so long. And now it's been like years of me doing it.
Since 2014, I believe.
Yeah, it's been a while. You like know better than I do. I'm like, tell me about me.
I got to do my research for the show. So
you're good at your job. You next. I'm interviewing you next.
No, but I think it's interesting because there's so many different kind of like different avenues of the Pokemon brand right now. Like there's like the actual games, there's the shows, there's the movies, there's Pokemon Go. It's just like it feels like it's just never ending, basically.
Yeah. People are like falling off cliffs trying to catch them all. It's crazy.
Man, I remember it was like 2 summers ago, it took over my summer. Like it was Pokemon Go hunting all the time. Yeah.
It got you.
I still have it. I still play it from time to time, but it's more like passively. Like once in a while, I'll just check it. But 2 years ago was addicting for sure.
It was. That was when it hit like peak. That app anyway hit like peak excitement, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's just crazy because you're a voice actress and you've done voices and the motion capture in Red Dead Redemption 2. But like, what do you kind of? Is there one that you prefer? Is there one that's kind of more fun than ever? Or is it the same, like doing voice acting for a video game versus a show? Is it the same stuff or?
Well, that's funny. That's a really funny question. Karen Jones is real fun. I mean, that woman, oh my God. She pulls from a very like the dark, angry, rebellious side of myself, and I just love living in that because you can't do that in real life, She's fun, and there were some scenes, that we did that didn't make it into the game that I was just like really bummed about, but also just were so fun to shoot that it didn't even really matter at that point. But Shauna is just the coolest because she was just like this light. I mean, she was all about girl power. She like knew how to be competitive with herself and still have friends, and like just one of those rare characters that like, I don't know, you don't normally get to see it that often. And I really appreciated that. Her positivity, just everything, like water off a duck's back with her, you know? And it's like crazy because it's like a cartoon character, but these characters have real depth and, you know, like levels of emotion that you don't necessarily expect.
Yeah, and the reception for Red Dead Redemption 2 has been kind of like just insane. Like,
isn't it cool?
It's nuts. So how's the reception been from your end?
Well, it's been interesting because like some of the fans are like, they're like, they know more about it than I do, you know? And I have to be like, oh crap, like I need to brush up. Like I'll see memes and stuff about like, I didn't know there was like Guarma or there's like an island. I feel like a total jerk, but it's funny because some of the actors were like, yeah, like I still can't find my rifle in the first mission. Like I cannot find my rifle. Dutch tells me to go and it's like on my horse is like, you need your gun, bro. And I'm like, that's where I'm at with the game right now. So the fans are incredible because they know so much and they care so much. And I've just been blown away. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot this is a global thing. This isn't like, you know, a TV show that's airing on like, you know, a network that not everybody is super into. It's like this huge thing. So grateful to be a part of it.
It's pretty cool. So I had, you know, Mia Davis, your pal. She's been on my show.
She's real ugly, right? She's like the most beautiful girl in the world.
she was
I tell her that all the time.
She was awesome. We had a blast.
Yeah.
And I have
talented too, obviously.
Right before we did this, I just got confirmation that Roger Clark is coming on the show.
Shut up! Hey!
Yes. So that's gonna be awesome because Arthur will be on Popternative.
Yeah, why are you even talking to me? Great, bye.
But like, it's funny because Mia also brought it up, like the fandom, kind of the impact that like specifically like characters like him have, like when they go to conventions and he does the voice like on video for some big fan, like it makes their year. Like it's like, it's crazy.
Well, when you meet him or when you talk with him, you're gonna be like, oh, I get it. Like there's this nature about him that is just this stoic cowboy thing, and like he has like an accent that's not the accent he uses as, you know, to play Arthur, but he just has this essence. I totally get why they brought him on as Arthur. It's really cool to just talk to him anyway. He's a great guy. So
now this might sound kind of weird, but I'm gonna say this. So, no, I mean, are you a horror movie fan?
No, I'm terrible. I'm too sensitive.
I feel like you'd be good. I just watched a horror movie yesterday on Netflix, and I just feel like. I just feel like you have this kind of like, I feel like you'd be good in horror movies. Like
I look like I'd be really good at being killed.
No,
you look really good scared.
You're kind of funny and quirky. You need that kind of character in it too, right? Group of friends at the campfire, the person who's making stupid jokes and like.
No, I did a long time ago. There haven't been a whole lot of horror movies that I've gone out for, but. You know, they always make money and they're always kind of cool to do. But there was one audition I did a long, long time ago where I had to like act out that this guy was sawing off my toe, like my one toe each time, like this little piggy. And he was like going through and they had the reader like actually acting it out. And
did you do that movie?
No, I didn't.
Do you know what movie it was?
No, but I think it was because half the time in my mind I was cracking up. That I was like, really? Are we really going to sit here and have this poor reader guy, like, I'm like laying down on a bed.
Oh my God.
Me all his angry and I'm trying to be all like, it was, that's like those weird audition stories where you're like, what? Was that real? Was that a dream? Like what? Why was that happening?
Because like Red Dead Redemption, it's not like horror per se, but there's some kind of moments in the game where it's kind of like intense and suspenseful and everything.
So depressing.
And everything like that.
Have you played through the whole thing?
Pardon me?
Have you played through the whole thing?
Yes, but I don't want to talk about it much because of spoilers. Because people get upset about spoilers.
I mean, it's the comedy. The whole thing is hilarious. So
no, but well, no, that's the thing too. It's like I was told by YouTube. YouTube had this kind of mailing list about like being important when you post videos, about like saying when they're going to be spoilers in videos because people are losing their minds about it lately.
I mean, we do live for this stuff. It's kind of like why stories are so important. And now with everything, so much information out there, like I can't get on Twitter without seeing what, some kind of spoiler. So yeah, I get that.
What do you kind of think about the video game landscape right now though, with all the apps and everything? Like it's completely changed for what when I was younger with Game Boys and GameCubes and everything. Now there's iPads and tablets, but games like Red Dead Redemption are still going strong, right? And that's like traditional, like on Xbox and PS4. Like, what do you kind of think about that transition?
Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen with that, because in terms of, there's so many things that go into thinking about this new media and like how we get paid and like residual. There's just so many details and business side of it, creative side of it. And I'm curious because I've read some articles about that and people are like, it's not going to change. Like, we're still going to keep buying our Xboxes and our PlayStations. We're still going to keep, but I'm like, at a certain point, it's going to change, and I'm not so committed to the idea of needing an Xbox. Like, I have an Xbox, but I feel like it's just going to be kind of nice when we can play it on our tablets and stuff like that. I mean, why would we not want that accessibility? I'm not entirely sure why people are so hung up on like, why that's a scary thing.
Yeah, I absolutely.
I mean,
I just want to point out that there's like, I think because it's your lighting, there's like there's kind of like a shadow in the background every time, and we just talked about horror movies, and it just like freaking me out a little bit. Sorry.
Oh my god, how viral would this go if I just got killed right now?
No, but like you'll see when you do the when you do the playback though, you'll see there's like shadows like behind you, and
I think it's cars driving by, but also spirits.
It's kind of freaky. I'm not gonna lie.
My granddad, he's just hanging out. Won't leave me alone.
What you've been a part? You mentioned like the catness, the college humor stuff, but like what has kind of been something that you've done in your career that you've been most kind of like not necessarily like proud of, but like oh, that's the coolest thing I've ever done. Like there's so many different things you've done, right?
Yeah, well, film, TV, all that stuff, and oh god, there's so many projects. But the first thing that comes to mind is, I was dating this guy this is a long time ago, like maybe a decade ago or something, maybe longer than that. And he had like a lot of money, and he wanted to show off, and he was like, "Let's go to Sundance. I want to take you to Sundance. Like you can meet people." And I was like, "Ew, no, I'll go to Sundance when I'm starring in a movie at Sundance because that's the kind of dangerous pride, I especially had at the time, which is what you need when you're young like that. You want your ego and you want all that." And then I didn't keep dating him. He's not a terrible guy, but whatever. And then I ended up doing this indie movie for like no money. And it was one of the best experiences of my life. And then we found out we got into Sundance. And then I was like, and it was like that personal goal. I had to fly myself out there. You know what I mean? I had to pay to stay. It wasn't like the way you think it's going to be, but I had like a really cool publicist that helped me out. And it was just like those milestones that you're like, I can look back and be proud of that, so, but it's not like as cool as Red Dead Redemption 2 or something like that. But
did you, I don't know if you watched the episode where I had Mia on, but I'm going to ask you a question I asked her, which was about misconceptions of the industry, because you were kind of talking about that, how you had to like fly yourself in. What, like, well, no, because like that kind of clued in, like this is the perfect time for my misconception, right? Because everyone thinks that boom, you're on a big movie, one role, and you're set for life.
It's really funny and people are so like, if you're not working like right now, like they'd be like, oh, you're not like working on a show right now, and it's like, no. It's okay. Like, this is what we do. We do this and we do that, which is hard, but you also, there's other benefits to it. You're always free to like, unless you get tied up in a show for a long time, which is great too. But sometimes you're like, I don't want to be on a show for 15 years. You know what I mean? Like I want to do other stuff. That's a big misconception. The money, of course. I mean, I think a lot of people, especially with actresses, they think like we're all crazy, and they're like, whoa, like you could be manipulating me, or like you're a total sociopath, and I'm like, oh my god, like you don't hear about actors committing crimes very like hardly ever. Like we're all just wanting to be loved and like tell people stories. You know what I mean? Like it's a big
just a quick update. It does look like a car now, so I'm more comfortable in the background.
Are you feeling safe?
I feel safer because now you said it was cars coming by, and it looked like, man, when we first started, it was really terrifying because it was like.
And I tried to make it look all cute. I have like my little flower. I tried to like set it up.
And then there's just like these like shadows. Because I saw a movie yesterday on Netflix called Head Count. It's like it's part of their Netflix and chills kind of thing they're doing. Like they're releasing a bunch of movies.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and it was pretty good. But it was about like spirits and stuff, and like it kind of just and then like I saw that, I'm like, oh my god, like
this... in that space, like you're not gonna see anything else. But ghosts.
But cool. I think it's interesting also that how amazing like ensemble cast like in Red Dead Redemption 2. I mean, there's like so many characters and so many people like, you know, the campfire girls, like you guys get to kind of like there's a wave, right? A Red Dead Redemption 2 kind of popularity right now, right?
Yeah.
And so many different people and so many characters get to kind of ride that wave. I just find that pretty cool.
Yeah, we've also bonded together so much over it, and then it's so funny. Like when fans see us together on social media, we genuinely hang out. Like we're down. We're like a squad, and I'm so happy that I got lucky enough to be a part of that. But yeah, it has been a nice little wave to ride out, and I hope it keeps going because, you know, I don't know anything about the next game they're working on, but it's going to be some years now, you know, and there's still fans from the original Red Dead. I mean, obviously, like Rob will talk to people and like they'll hear his voice and be like, oh, like they'll just know that it's him, you know, it's John, which is crazy.
No, absolutely. That is really, really cool. Well, Joe, we'll wrap up, but this was a blast.
Bye from me in my haunted house.
Yeah, I was about to say, we didn't, spirits didn't capture us, so that's so awesome.
Thank you so much. This was so fun.
No problem. Where can people follow you on social media?
I mostly am just on Instagram at Jo Armeniox. It looks like Jo Armeniox. I think somebody started a Facebook page for me, but I don't even remember my password for Facebook. So Instagram is where I'm at. I'm also on Twitter, and I'm down for Twitter. Same thing, at Jo Armeniox. Follow me.
That is awesome. Well, until next time, this is PD Beats and Jo Armeniox on Popternative, and be sure to subscribe and also follow her on Instagram and Twitter. You might see some spirits posting up on her social media, and then I don't know. That was a really bad sign off.
That's all you remember about me.
Until next time, this is us signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.